200 people came to bury my husband. 199 of them thought I was the widow. The 200th tapped a champagne glass with a butter knife, walked to the microphone, and said the 4 words that erased my entire life. I was his wife. Under her chair was a black leather binder, monogrammed DR. Inside it was every document needed to prove she was right, and I had never been married at all. My name is Claire Whitman, 49, married 18 years, mother to Ethan and Mia. Daniel was my husband. We met in 2007 at a charity gala. Diane Reyes introduced us. She was Daniel's oldest friend from college. It would be weird if she weren't around, Daniel said on our second date. I repeated that line for 19 years. Diane gave the toast at our wedding. She was Ethan's godmother. She slept on my couch the week I lost the baby. She was at the hospital when Mia was born. We called her Aunt Diane. The kids loved her. I loved her. I trusted her with my children's lives. At our wedding in October 2008, Diane raised her glass. To Daniel and Claire, she said, "May they have the marriage they deserve." I cried. 18 years later, I would learn she had been Daniel's lawful wife on the day she said it. She had married him in June 1998 and never filed for divorce. The toast was already a court exhibit. I just did not know yet. April 21st, 2026, a Tuesday. Daniel was making coffee. He was 61. He went down on the kitchen floor, between the refrigerator and the island. I called 911. They worked on him for 40 minutes. The doctor used the word massive. I called Diane from the parking lot before I called my own mother. She picked up on the first ring. "I'm coming." She was there in 22 minutes. She made the bed I could not lie in. She was the first person to say his name out loud after he was gone.
Anne wrote the obituary on Wednesday. She sat across from me with her laptop. Middle initial, Daniel R. Whitman. I nodded. I did not notice she filed it under Daniel R. Reyes, his legal name. By Friday morning, that obituary was in the probate court's automatic notification feed. She helped me choose the casket. She suggested the lilies. She asked 4 separate times when the wake would be, by the hour. Will it be done by 4:30? I thought she was being thoughtful about catering. Probate filings close at 5 p.m. She had not cried once. Not at the hospital, not at the viewing, not in my kitchen at midnight. Halloran and Sons funeral parlor, Saturday, April 26th. 200 folding chairs, white lilies, the closed casket on a low platform. I wore black. Diane wore black. She sat in the 3rd row, on the aisle. She set a black leather binder under her chair, monogrammed DR, expensive. I assumed it was photo prints for the eulogy. People came up to me. They held my hands. Diane stood by the door greeting mourners she knew by name, co-workers, neighbors, an older couple who turned out to be Daniel's parents, though I had been told they were dead. She had not cried. The binder sat under the chair. 4:11 p.m. Diane stood. She picked up the binder. She walked to the small lectern at the front of the room, the one set up for the eulogy I was supposed to give in 20 minutes. She tapped a champagne flute 3 times with a butter knife. The room turned. Mr. Halloran, the funeral director, took half a step toward her. Diane raised one finger without looking at him. He stepped back. People assumed she was about to speak about Daniel. A few smiled gently. Someone behind me whispered, "That's so kind." My son Ethan looked at me. I gave him the small nod a mother gives. Diane opened the binder.
Name is Diane Reyes. Her voice did not shake. I have been Daniel's lawful wife since June 14th, 1998. I never filed for divorce. The marriage you attended in 2008 was void on the day it was performed. She turned the first page. Original marriage license, embossed county seal. Phones came up. Someone dropped a glass. Next page. Divorce petition Daniel signed in 2007, withdrawn. Next page. Joint mortgage on our lake house in Westcliff. Next page. Daniel's will, signed 2011. 3 years after the ceremony Claire believed was her wedding. Sole beneficiary, me. She closed the binder. My mother stood halfway up and sat back down. Ethan was 16. His face went the color of paper. I did not understand then why she had waited. 22 years of silence, 22 years of birthdays. Why now? Why like this? The answer was in the state probate code. A legal spouse has automatic standing the moment her husband dies. A bigamous second marriage is void from inception. If Diane had spoken while Daniel was alive, he could have divorced her, restructured the estate, written me in. By waiting until the heart attack, she locked herself in as sole legal heir before I could file a motion. The week I lost the baby, the week she slept on my couch, was not friendship, it was surveillance. Diane walked to the casket. She placed the original 1998 marriage license on top of the closed lid. She did not look at me. She walked out through the side door. The click of her heels was the only sound for 9 seconds. A young man stood up beside her empty seat and followed her out. He had Daniel's jaw. Probate court vacated the 2008 marriage in June. The estate, $2.1 million, went entirely to Diane. The life insurance redirected. Daniel's pension redirected. I received nothing. 2 of my bridesmaids stopped returning calls. My mother did not speak to me for a month. 6 weeks after probate closed, Diane funded 2 irrevocable trusts. One for Ethan, one for Mia. $640,000. She told the local paper one sentence: "They did nothing wrong. I have not accepted the trusts. I have not refused them."
3 months later, I found Daniel's second phone in a kitchen drawer. 4,000 messages between him and Diane. I did not read them. I dropped the phone in a glass of water and watched the screen go dark. She could have told me on any of those 8,000 mornings. She waited for the one morning I could not walk away from her. Was 22 years of silence justice or cruelty? I have been asking myself that question for 4 months. I still do not have an answer.